All right. I wanted to make sure that I crossed the street before I started my TikTok live. I know how TikTok can be so concerned, she says facetiously, about my safety. Now, some of you may remember that last week I was being safe, but obviously not as safe. I attempted to start a TikTok live as I was pulling my car over to park to do it. And TikTok said, "We noticed that you're in a moving vehicle. We're going to stop this TikTok live and ban you." So I'm hoping that it realized that my lumbering up the hill from my Pilates class is no way the same kind of movement as my car, and it won't dock me for movement while doing a TikTok live. They will totally see that this is just me walking home. So hey everybody, I see some familiar names. I see Cat Mama, Suzanne, Laura, Abbott Elementary, Emily, that one persona, Lori, Hannah. See, you guys know. You knew that I was going to be here at 8 a.m. even though my class ran till 7:50. But here's my lesson with all this. First of all, I'm going to make sure I cross the street quickly and safely. There we go. It's okay to try to do more than one thing. If it's not going to be done perfectly, do something slightly imperfectly. Hey, I love this. Laura is saying, good morning, Beth. Good morning. I already did some decluttering today. I got some old paint cans out in the trash. Awesome. Yeah. When you realize you're not going to use that paint anymore, or it's empty, or it's dry, those are some things that it's a nice feeling to get it done. Awesome. Abbott Elementary says, "You're an inspiration. Love that you're walking." Yeah. Hey, Christine Gormley, nice to see you. Here's my thought. I had the choice of saying I can do my Pilates class perfectly, but if I do that and walk home, I'm not going to be starting at 8 a.m. Now, I have a client at 9 a.m., and so I want to make sure I am on time for her, but I also honor my, kind of promises. So I wanted to start this on time too. So I thought, well, nobody says I have to do a TikTok live starting always sitting down. So I'm about 5 minutes from my house. So we'll do this. And if you want to get up and walk around, even just, who is it? One of my clients. I can picture her, but because I'm walking and trying to navigate things, my brain is not focused. I'm sure you guys know that feeling. I can totally picture her face. And as I would do one-on-one coaching with her, sometimes she would get up and, just kind of start marching in place. So I swear, if we were in, like Romper Room or something, I'd be putting on some like John Philip Sousa. And it's like, okay, everybody, let's march. Let's get ourselves going. But this isn't Romper Room. It feels like it. Alrighty. So let me see. The sun is in my eyes, as you can probably tell. Me is saying, I'll be doing that shortly, working out. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you too. Happy Thursday, everybody. Tomorrow is Friday, and holy manoli, it is even more. I don't know why I should be amazed that we are now way more than halfway through September, Badia, as we like to say in our house. However, 2024 is on its way to winding down. I think of the calendar as a circle, and we are on one of those kind of curves down towards December and the new year. Now, I just mentioned this to you because sometimes, okay, exactly. Cat Just Me just said 3 days till fall. Yeah, the whole autumn solstice or whatever, always like to me on the 21st. You know what that means? I will prep you with this, you guys. Be prepared. Actually, who was it? Abbott Elementary. We were talking about don't be scared, be prepared. And between now and December 21st, the amount of daylight is going to decrease. Now, I'm not a big fan of that, I will admit. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And that's what we say when we are doing our decluttering of stored stuff, is it's going to look temporarily worse. Hold on, the trash truck is going by. I'm not about to fight with the trash truck. There Maybe some of that's clutter somebody realized they didn't want. That'd be cool, huh? Yeah, ducks, sir. The holidays are coming. Whew. Yes, you know. Good morning, Erin. Nice to see you. I am oh my God. When it's still warm out, it is warm out here. When the trash truck goes by, it leaves one of those like little wafting scents of garbage, as my mother would say. Real life. This is not perfection, but this is real life, and it's kind of fun. I'm hearing somebody's alarm go off. The trash truck went by. I live in a real world. I'm a real person. To be honest with you, when I turned on my camera today, I was like, oh, God. So that's what I'm looking like. It was a surprise. I hadn't looked in the mirror, and my hair needs a haircut. But hey, I'm here anyway, and so are you. And let's hang out for the next hour. How can I help you? Maybe it's just hanging out. Oh, morning. Maybe it's just hanging out while you putter and declutter. Maybe, and I will say this once I'm home and I can settle down just a smidge, maybe I can answer some questions for you about where you're stuck with your decluttering, okay? There we go. Kat says, hey-yo, hey-yo. Welcome back. Thank you. Guess I'll get to decluttering. Yeah, I'm a bit like Pavlov's dog in this response. When I show up, people are like, oh, hey, you know, maybe I make clutter, less arduous. I like to make many things more fun than people think they are, because when things are fun, I'm more likely to get them done, or at least I'm more likely to start. And sometimes once you start, then you keep on going longer than you think you would. All right, last, look both ways before you cross the street. First you use your eyes, then you use your feet. Isn't that what we used to say? So there. Now, Christine says, I like the term putter and declutter. Now, I like that too. I make up stuff like that all the time. I honestly consider my coaching kind of my creative outlet. And I like things that rhyme. And I think because that's easy, makes it easy to remember. That's why I call, or if they all begin with the same letter, I think that's called an alliteration. And I just joke. It's like I'm an alliterer. Like I'm a litterer, but then I'm a litterer. So that's why I have destination decluttered. And then I talk about your head, your heart, and your hands. And I talk about surface clutter, stored clutter, and sentimental clutter. So yeah, putter and declutter. That to me is usually when you're kind of, listening to a podcast and you're doing those important decluttering things. And I just say important because it's part of the process. The decluttering where you are not really having to activate and use your brain, because your body already knows where those things belong, okay? Now, I just got a notification. Here's a fun thing. I just got a notification that my 9 a.m. client is rescheduling. Now, I say this to you because I was planning on doing this TikTok live from my office, but since she's not there, I'm going to sit outside. So I just need to get a few things inside. Now, I'm going to whisper, because my husband is still probably asleep. So follow me as I get my little rack to put my thing on. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll just stay in. Yeah, no, it's nice out. Okay, so, okay. Waylon the cat is saying, I was doing really well. Good. Yay for you. Now I'm to the hard stuff, and I sit in the middle and stare at it. That's okay. I can help you with that. I can. All right, this is funny. Total real life moment, you guys. See, now that I'm getting outside, not near the bedroom door, I am coming out here and I'm going to use my suitcase as something to prop up my phone with, so I don't have to be holding it all the time. I can imagine I'm probably getting some of you, including myself, a little bit woozy with the moving around, but give me like a minute, and then I'll be nice and settled down. And notice this, sometimes we're buzzing around and you're like, okay, gotta do this, gotta do that. What a best thing to do when you want to have quality is to slow down, to calm down, to sit down, to quiet down. There we go. All right, so let me help you with this. So thank you for bearing with the transition moment, but this is what happens in life. I guess I should introduce myself in case we haven't met before. You may have just found me on TikTok, or maybe this is a a recording of a TikTok live you've seen that showed up on your YouTube. So my name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Now, I say Destination Decluttered because I love not only traveling, but I love the road trip metaphor. And you'll hear me talking a lot about you being the driver behind the wheel. You know, like, for example, Waylon the cat is saying, I was doing really well, and now I'm at the hard stuff, and I sit and I stare. This is what I call, as you would call if you were in your car, a roadblock. There's like a, one of those sawhorses, and there's something that's blocking your way of moving forward. Now, Waylon the cat, let me give you just a couple of tips, or a couple of suggestions to just think about, okay? First of all, congratulations for doing what you have done already. That is major, because sometimes we don't even do that. And you know how to do a lot of stuff. So I think that's pretty cool. Let me see if I can move that. Typically what I think happens as being a coach and a person who has been cluttered and gone through it is when you stop, what you have probably gotten to is kind of a category of clutter or a layer of clutter that is, either it activates your nervous system, as we would get all official and say in coaching. But what I will say is it makes you feel a feeling. There's a story about certain items, and it makes you feel a feeling. You could be beating yourself up. How did I let it get this bad? Or, oh my gosh, now I'm at the things that are like my grandmother's china and things that have what I call like surface stored sentimental. So surface is puttering and decluttering. That's like your everyday stuff. When you are stuck, you have something in front of you that sends you a message that you're not sure what to do with. That's okay. This is totally part of the process. So congratulate yourself on what you did do. But this is what I want to offer. Instead of freezing and getting worse and judging yourself and getting into like a negative spiral of, oh, I don't know why I'm stuck and I don't know why, blah, blah, blah. Shh. Quiet it down. Quiet it down like a little scared little kid. I call it my backseat driver. You probably might do the same. Shh, quiet down. It's okay. Nothing's wrong here. Nothing's wrong here. We're just looking ahead and we're driving down a road that looks a little bit rocky. We're going to get through this. So calming down your nervous system is always going to be, when you notice the thing that's like, the first thing you want to do is notice it, and it's kind of lit up in your brain, like, oh my gosh, and then pull back, pull the car over to the side of the road, get some distance from it. Now, I like to encourage my clients, because we want to have like a paper trail of what happened, to write down things, but get some distance from it. And then calming down and saying, you know what would I rather feel? I can do this. What would I rather feel? And then start to imagine yourself being able to do that thing. Not being afraid of feeling a feeling or hearing a story, but then making a decision about that item so it's no longer there. Or maybe you love it, so you keep it, okay? But when you get into that stuck mode, there are things you can do. There is a process I teach, this like step-by-step process to teach you to be able to kind of move that roadblock aside to continue to go, okay? Now, I love this because some of you are my one-on-one clients. Others of you are names that I see kind of pop up on my TikTok lives, because I do one-on-one paid coaching. But other people, I don't even know who I've helped. I just show up in the spirit of helping and encouragement. And like Lisa is saying, thank you. Your suggestions helped me get started in December. It feels so much better. So thank you for letting me know that, Lisa. Okay? Thank you for letting me know that what I'm doing is helping. And notice, she started back in December. This is not going to be a one and done thing, but I say it as a good thing. Now hear me out. This is what I was thinking as I was walking prior to me turning on my camera to start this TikTok live. I was walking up a hill from doing a Pilates class. And as I was walking and crossing the street, some guy was running, like literally, like not like he was running from the cops or anything. He was like, jogging with intention. And I looked at him and I was like, you know what? I have never been a runner. I am not a runner now. And I don't care to be a runner in the future. However, this is the insight I want to share with you. I said, I am moving through the world at a pace that feels right to me. Some people run. Some people don't even move. Some people bicycle. I am moving through life at a pace that feels good to me. And that's okay. That's all I need to do. So Lisa began in December to declutter. She's moving through her clutter at a pace that feels right to her. And it's feeling better. She's feeling better. Not it's feeling better. She is feeling better in her body and in her life. So it is okay to move through life at a pace that feels right to you. If you feel like you're going too fast, I'm too fast, that's not good. That's not how you want to feel. If you feel like you're going too slow, also kind of check yourself. Why am I dragging my heels? Why am I dragging myself along when I really want to walk at like a nice pace that feels comfortable? So just think about that. Okay. Another Lisa is saying, hello, Beth. It's been a while. Hey, I really appreciate your tips. They are a treasure to use and remember. Well, my goodness, it must be Lisa Day here. Thank you. Cats. Okay, I'm catching up on some of these things, and some of these things have just kind of pulled up. So I'm going to make sure to kind of hit them all. I love it. Okay, so Cats, Coffee, and Cocktails says, I am doing something this month I saw here on TikTok. TikTok is a great resource. And it's working. It's working for you. First, one item, 14th, 14 items. So every day, what you're doing is you're building up your practice. You're practicing releasing items. And each time you do it, you're increasing the quantity a little bit more. And you're realizing, oh, this isn't as bad as I thought. Okay. Wonderful. I love it when I hear people finding tools for their toolkit that work for them. Okay? So that is a tool that works for you. Awesome. Put it in your toolbox. Put it in your toolkit in the back of the car. Use it the next time you're thinking, oh, this is overwhelming because I have too much stuff. First I go for the ones, then I go for the twos, then I go for the threes. No, you got to be bold, innovate. I'd rather be neat. Does anybody remember that commercial? It was for Challenge Yahtzee with Oscar Madison and I almost said Oscar the Grouch, but I guess he was. Felix Unger and Oscar Madison. You know? Tony Randall and Jack Klugman, the odd couple. Can you tell I'm a Gen Xer who spent a lot of time watching TV? All right. So that's how I roll. Now I love it. Laura Gibbons Voorhees says, I love looking at small spaces I have tidied up because it encourages me to keep going. Yes. Yes, oh yes, oh yes. I say this because encouraging yourself, giving yourself courage to move forward. Part of the way that you do that is by looking at what you've done before. I said, well, I did that before. I can probably do it again. If you've never done it before, you have to trust yourself that the process is going to work to even get started. The sun, I love the sun is up, but it's kind of glaring in my eyes. I will do my best. I think I just gave myself a glaucoma test. But I love that. Encourage yourself by what you've done already. You can look at other people for inspiration to get started, but the best inspiration is to feel good about yourself and be like, hey, check out what I did yesterday. This is why when I coach, and you people that I coach one-on-one, you know that I always have 2 books with me. And I've showed them. I would show them if I was in my office. I have like a very, very informal kind of workhorse of a notebook that I use. And it's the same type, but it's always different because I tear the pages out once the day is gone. And I start a new page for a new day. That's kind of a cool thing. New day, new page, fresh start. And I use one as my workbook. I write down things that I want to do. I schedule things. As things come to mind, I'm sitting down, I jot them down so I remember them and I do them. But then I use that and use it as almost like my to-do list. And then I have another book that's only the good stuff. This is my evidence of what I have done well. And I typically, as I was telling a new client recently, it's almost like your to-do list becomes your ta-da list. Now, I didn't invent that, but I think it's kind of fun, so I use it. It's, ta-da, check out, look at what I did. Look at what I did. And you're not saying it. You can say it to other people. Hey, check me out. Hey, look me over. No, but you can say it to yourself. My God, look at all the good stuff I did yesterday. And feel good about what you did do. And stop feeling bad about what you didn't do. Okay? Making yourself feel bad, I will share this. I don't care how old you are. Making yourself feel bad is such a waste of life. And a waste of time. I was going to start with a waste of time, but I said life for like more impact. But a waste of time too, because in time is the one thing we never get more of. No. You know? So notice this. Oops. I apologize. A bunch of the questions just kind of popped up. So there we go. I'm going to be, okay. Cats and Cocktails has been watching me. So helpful. It's my mom's stuff, not mine. And she had to move in with me. Yes, sometimes dealing with somebody else's clutter is a lot easier than dealing with your own. You know? Cat Just Me says, what's the big stuff? Is it the size, emotional, or sentimental, or it's whatever it is to you. There can be something like, okay, perfect example to me is there can be a little tiny thing that you're like, somebody gave this to me and I don't know what to do with it. Or it can be a huge thing. I actually have a one-on-one client who is making such awesome progress. And she and her husband are cleaning out a house that has been in his family for generations. And talk about big stuff. They had to get this old, I envisioned it as an old-timey fridge, a refrigerator out of the basement of this house in Brooklyn. So sometimes it can be a physically big thing, but it's not what typically it is. A big thing that gets you stopped is it could be as little as a piece of paper. It could be as little as a note somebody wrote that you come across and it makes you feel a feeling and you sit down and you cry and you stop. So it's more, the bigness is something that makes you feel something. Could make you feel good and you're so glad you found it. Could make you feel sad because it's a card your dad wrote to you and your dad's not here anymore. So emotional and sentimental for me, Kat, just me, just so you know, are the same things. I tend to call them sentimental items because I like to say surface stored sentimental. You do you. And Ms. Crentis says, I took your suggestions to make time. I scheduled on my phone yesterday and I did it. Thanks. High five, hon. Seriously. Here's the deal. I get it. This is the thing. So I coach a lot of people and I've been coaching for years and I hang out with people who I hear what they say. Sometimes I think coaching is a professional listener, and then I capture what you say, and I hear, if we recorded it, this is what I heard. Notice what you said. I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. And I'll give you this. Sometimes you legit don't have time right then to do the thing you realize. But what you do is then you write it down because you know it's something important, but then you make the time. If you don't have time now, just stop. This is the wonderful pause. If you say to yourself, I don't have time to declutter, it could be legit. I have a very busy day today. I don't have time to shower until like 2 p.m. That's okay. I'm the one who made my schedule. But sometimes I hear people say, I don't have time, and they have the time, but their head and their heart are telling them that they don't. So I just like to mention that, okay? Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Pull over and say, is this true? Is this really true? Let me look at my calendar. Do I have time, or am I listening to a story that this little kid in the back seat is telling me? Okay? I am so glad that worked. Damn it, Donna, nice to see you. I hope you got your welcome email from being on the Destination Decluttered mailing list. Awesome. Okay. Now I love this. Beach Mama says, about a month ago, I took a long weekend and focused. I got so much done. I love that. I love that Cat's Coffees and Cocktails is saying, I am watching you and sorting magazines to go in the recycling. Yeah, please, you guys, everybody, seriously, you do not need to look at the screen when I do a TikTok live. If anything, it gets kind of boring. I'll use my hands. I'll go like top to bottom, side, left to right, but I'll try to articulate that. But if you know what I'm talking about, you can hear it and envision it in your head. What I would love for you to do is, if you do have the time right now to listen to me, as my husband, who as a teen worked at Roy Rogers, as he says to me, if you got time to lean, you got time to clean. So if you have time to listen to TikTok, you may have time to do some puttering and decluttering. Now, this isn't the deep, heavy stuff. No, you have to listen to your heart. Heart. Listen to your heart. I'm never even a good singer when I am good singing. Never mind that. You know what I mean? You got to listen to your heart when you're doing stored and sentimental. You need to make decisions for you, so you need to listen to what's going on with you. But you can listen to me while you're putting in dishes or folding laundry, putting trash away, kind of tidying up, as we would say. That's surface clutter. It's important because that's a habit to get into, is putting your stuff away, you know? So I love that you're doing that, okay? I love this. Beach Mama says, sometimes I focus on one room, sometimes I focus on a floor, main, upper, or basement. Yeah, have fun with it. Yeah, Damn It Donna says, put on your favorite music too. Yeah, ooh, that's interesting. Sort, sift, and decide. Yeah, notice what's working for you and do it, you know? Okay. That one persona is a comment question from earlier. Sorry, I might not have seen it. Tips for decluttering while working full-time and with a full schedule. Now, I love the fact that you mentioned that. And yes, Christine Gormley, positive self-talk is huge. Many of us think all or nothing. Or, as I like to joke, because this is making me laugh nowadays, I'm going to see if I can move this because the sun is totally in my eyes. All right. I want you to think of conjunction junction. Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Hooking up words and phrases and clauses. And, but, and, or, that get you pretty far. Notice the conjunctions you're using. You could say, I could do this or I could do that. That's kind of all or nothing. That's very black or white. You know? It's either black or white. I suggest you start to play with the word and. Okay? When you are working full-time with a full schedule, this is really important for you to really map out what your day looks like. Now, I do this. I open up my notebook. Every day has the day as the date on it. And then I start and I make a 6 a.m. skip a line, 7 a.m. skip a line, and I go all the way down to 9 a.m. Now, I rarely start my day at 6 a.m. and I rarely end my kind of productive day at 9, but I just have this template. And then what I do is I will literally put blocks of time where I'm doing certain things. So if you work a full-time job, yours may be like, get ready for work from 6 to 8, and then drive to work from 8 to 9, and then work from 9 to 5, and then drive home from 9 to 6. That may be your work day. But you may even have, this is the thing, you guys, listen up, this is really important. You don't need a lot of time to get started decluttering. I highly encourage to get in the habit of doing a little bit every day. Now, does this mean get into the deep stuff when you're exhausted? No. Goodness, I don't want to set you up for failure. But what I say is you can tidy up. You can do little dribs and drabs. Match the task to the time and energy you have. But I highly encourage you not to postpone it, because then that builds things up. Think about it this way, okay? If you said, I don't have time to do my dishes on Monday because I'm exhausted, and you left them till Tuesday, Amy Mann, anybody? And then on Tuesday, you're like, I still work today. I'm still tired. I'm not going to do my dishes from today either. Then you've got Mondays and Tuesdays dishes. Lather, rinse, repeat all the way to Friday. Friday, you have 5 days worth of dishes. If you had just taken, and this is the really important thing, a short amount of time every day, 15 minutes can really change how things are in your life. They can. And they will also get you into a better habit of not letting the clutter pile up because you're avoiding it. Now, I will be honest with you, there are times when if you have allowed clutter to accumulate, to pile up for days, weeks, months, years, decades, you may and will need more time to do it. And this is why I say, also, schedule the time to get it done if it's important to you. But also, don't do it, don't say, and I love that it worked for Beach Mama to say, I took a long weekend and all I did was that. That can feel great to do that, but over the long term, that's going to burn you out. That's like a marathon. That's like a long distance thing. I say, do that when you can, but also don't wait for those moments. Don't say, I'm going to, drive for 2,000 miles and then drive for 200 miles and then stop for a week and then drive. How about driving 10 miles a day? You can get 100 miles in 10 days. See what I mean? Chunking it down. Making it small enough so you start will definitely give you better results, and it's more organically sustainable for your body and your life than postponing it until, I don't have time, I'll do it later. Okay? I hope that helped one persona, and I apologize if I had missed your question. Thank you for reposting it. Sometimes the way that the questions are here, they fly past me and I can't get back to them. Okay? Now I'm going to do that again. Boom. There we go. All right, what do we got here? Okay, now I am. Micro decluttering. I love Laura Gibbons Voorhees. Yeah, 5 minutes and better than no minutes. Exactly. Say that to yourself. Calm down your backseat drivers. I don't have time. You know what? 5 minutes is fine. I can do 5 minutes. I can clean up that toothpaste. I can throw away that thing. I can put that stuff in the bag for the recycles or the bag for the donations. 5 minutes is better than no minutes. There we go. Lisa says we set the timer for 15 minutes and usually end up doing more. Yes, a timer is your friend. And if you're watching me on a cell phone, you have a timer. And so you don't have to listen to that tick, 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 tick of a kitchen timer. Okay? So notice these things. Cat Mama says you have a great memory. I have a wonderful kind of toy box up here filled with fun things that I like to pull out when I think of them. Okay? There we go. Cat's Coffee and Cocktails is suggesting I put podcasts on and head to the basement and makes the time fly. Yeah. Find the things that make doing the decluttering easier for you. Now, sometimes that's good for me when I'm, as I said, on the surface clutter, when I need to make decisions like, ooh, what do I want to do with all these books? What do I want to do with this lamp? I need to listen to myself, okay? I love it. Lucille has been decluttering daily since summer. Summer's over, and it feels good. Chunk it down. This is how you do it with AD&D. Bathroom bag. Yeah, the bathroom bag. Isn't this fun, Kat? When you're saying, oh, it sat for a month, and then when I finally went to clear it, it took me all of about 15 minutes. You got to laugh at yourself because, like, why was I dreading this? Why did I postpone this? Because here's the deal. When you postpone things, you know you're postponing it. You have x-ray specs. Even if you put it behind a door, you know that behind that door of that closet is a hot mess. So when you walk past it, you think you've not allowed your external eyes to see it, but you know when you're walking by, I should probably go into that room someday and clean it. But no, I'm just going to shut the door. Yeah, it usually takes way longer than you think. Yeah. Yep. Abbott Elementary is saying for working people, setting a time 15-minute and doing what you can could be surprising. Yeah. Yep. There we go. Strong Silver Socialist didn't know who I was talking about. I love it. 1985, I was in college radio and we had a Halloween party. I dressed up as Amy Mann. They had that spray paint where you could spray your hair different colors, so I spray painted my hair kind of a silver white blonde, and I made this giant braid, and I wore a strapless black dress. When I meet her in person, I don't know if I'll tell her that I dressed up as her as Halloween. It's kind of freaky. I'll keep that to myself, but I'll think of that, okay? So, all right. There we go. I do daily too. Just needed that huge push. Trust me, Beach Mama, I am not shaming you, and I am not saying you did anything wrong. What I was doing, seriously, you guys, I do not clutter shame. I try not to shame at all. Making somebody feel bad about something, again, waste of energy and time. But what I say is, if you say, I'm not going to do it, but then this whole weekend, we're going to do the whole garage. First of all, on the weekend, I want you to have some fun. Now, I do this myself. We work and then we clock out. And then we have some fun. Okay? Have fun and get it done. There we go. Now, Sia Will is saying, I started seeing the value in making small contributions, and I didn't before. It has what is that thing? There's a growth thing there. But yes, it can have a cumulative effect. It can have a compounding effect. That what you do does begin to build. Think of it. If you saved a penny and the next day you saved 2 and the next day you saved 3 pennies, 4 pennies, do that. I should probably do the math to see how much money that would be at the end of a year. But start small. Just start. Okay? So notice these things that are kind of ways that things happen out in the world. Why not use them to help you? The difference between I was thinking about this. I'm always thinking. My brain, that's what it likes to do. And I was thinking about the difference on the way up here between an investment and a purchase and a donation. Or like you donate money to a charity, you spend money on a TV, you invest your money in something that's going to give you a return on your money. You don't expect the return you have on your money when you donate to a cause you care about is a good feeling. When you spend your money on something that's an investment, stocks or a business that is hopefully going to do well and you'll make money from it, or frankly, coaching is an investment, and I only mean that in the way, not the monetary, not the amount, but think of if you invested a little bit of money now in the stock market or something low and slow that it was just growing in the background, that you didn't have to do anything except put a couple of bucks in every day, it would compound and it would grow. Okay? So I say that with how you spend your time, how you spend your money, how you spend your life. What are the little things you could do every day? I just came from a Pilates class. Whenever I can fit in something that gets me moving my body, I'm going to do it because it's going to be better for me in the short term and the long term. Okay? Here's another one. Notice how I just took a couple of sips of water. What if I didn't drink any water all day, and then I tried to drink like 64 gallons 64 ounces in one fell swoop? No, a little bit at a time, a sip at a time. It's how we live as humans. It's how plants live. Now, these are fake plants. I don't even know if you can see them. I get my fake plants, my fake plastic trees. But you know what? Real plants grow a little bit at a time. That's how we grow. That's how we move. We move through life at a pace that feels good to us. Just start moving through life and making it feel good. Okay, so Lisa is asking, is it worth selling clothes via Poshmark or a waste of time and just delaying the donations? Now, I don't mean to sound all coachy, but what do you think? Now, I will say this. Start with some information. Trust your gut. If you're feeling it might be a waste of time, it's probably going to feel like a waste of time, and then it will be a waste of time. But let's say, I don't know if you have stuff that's from H&M or you have stuff from the Chanel store. I don't. You know it. So take a look at your clothes that you want to sell and log on to Poshmark. Look up those designers. See what other people are asking. I do know anecdotally from the people that I coach that have sold things on Poshmark that they are not getting enough money. Like their hourly rate, as I like to say, is not worth it to them, but that's on how much they're selling and what they're doing. Other people are throwing a couple of things up there and they think it's fun. It's all up to you. Okay? But I would start with this with anybody, all y'all. Okay? If you have anything in your house that you're thinking, I'm saving this because I think it might be worth money and I want to sell it to make the money, use today as the research day to research some of those things. I hope it's all worth the money you want and more, but from my experience, I have saved things, and it's been very rare that I've made a profit. It is often that I have lost money because I have held on to things, or even bought them in the first place thinking, ooh, somebody might like this, and then nobody liked it, and then I was stuck with it. Okay? Now, Cat's Coffee and Cocktails suggests Facebook Marketplace, but really, yeah, and the Real is the best for high-end stuff. I've seen that here on TikTok. I would try, see what your local consignment store says. I have a local vintage stores that I go to. Well, I used to go to. Now I've sold all my vintage clothes, And German Maid is offering, I tried selling new clothes online and none sold. I even listed some free and they didn't get claimed. You know what? Ask yourself how often you're buying clothes on those things, and people are probably the other thing. Yeah, great suggestion, especially supporting a local business. Yeah, and also you'll know from the people at your local shop what they take and what they don't take. So pay attention if you have multiple shops. Now, I say this because where I live, I know that there is a consignment store near me that sells a lot of kind of what I would call preppy clothes. Lily Pulitzer and probably things from Brooks Brothers and all that kind of moneyed things. I'm near. I'm definitely not on. My God, I am not on the main line of Philadelphia at all. But there are people who like Lily Pulitzer and Nantucket Reds and all that. It's not my jam, especially because I grew up in Massachusetts. I'm like, I never want to see that stuff again. But I don't bring my stuff to them. I bring my cool, funky vintage stuff that I wore in my punk rock days down to the punk rock gals at Lulu's. So notice this stuff. Yeah, and Jen is noticing, okay, I started putting things on our local Buy Nothing group, but all the communication takes so much time. Yeah, what I say, this is my approach, okay? So, excuse me, gonna cross my legs. Pilates. As soon as you make a decision that you do not want an item in your home, what I would love your next thought to be is, okay, I don't want this. What is the simplest and easiest way? I like to keep things simple and I like to keep them easy. What is the simplest and easiest way for me to get this item out of my home as soon as possible? Because when you have made that decision, you still don't want that thing hanging around in limbo. You want it to go where you want it to go. So I say this to everybody, is to think, if I don't want it, have a place where you do want it to go. If I don't want it here, I want it to go there. What are your theirs? Now, where I live, I have the choice of some vintage stores, some antique stores for high-end stuff, for some thrift stores, a Goodwill, a Restore. That's where I live. But I know I have those places literally within walking distance of my house, just because I live in a small town. But I know other people who do not have those kinds of resources. So answer yourself, if I don't want it, where do I want it to go? And what is simple and what is easy? Because I don't want you wasting your time then doing that. I want you to make time and space in your life for things that are important, for stuff that's important to you. Okay? Yeah, time to move it out and time to work out. I love it, Ellen. You have a rockin' day. Okay? So I got about 20 minutes left. If we're just meeting for the first time, because I see there's a number of people that just kind of popped in. My name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach. My coaching is called Destination Decluttered. That's here on TikTok. My TikTok lives are uploaded to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. I do one-on-one coaching, paid coaching. I do a 10-session program with people that you can repeat and repeat and repeat because it's one-on-one, so it's totally organic. It's not like a strict workbook. I hate that stuff. I like to have fun and talk and find out where you are. So that's my paid coaching. You can find out about that at destinationdecluttered.com. When you're on destinationdecluttered.com, you can also sign up for my free mailing list. Now, that's a really great thing to do, especially when I don't have any, if you're interested in coaching or you're just curious about that, and I don't have any consultations currently on my books because I'm busy and I have a lot of clients. But if you're curious about that, hop on my mailing list. It's free. We do a lot of cool stuff. The people on the email list get the first dibs. Again, that's at destinationdecluttered.com. Okay? There we go. No, I love this. Cat's Coffee and Cocktail says 11 HGTV magazines gone since I have been on. Yeah. Now HGTV can be an inspiration, but boy, do they make it seem so easy, don't it? First of all, think about it. They have a whole team of people coming in. They also fast forward. They think you're going to get it done in a half an hour. They fast forward over all of the parts that you and I want to know how to do, how to make those decisions. You know, they go from the and then they do a shoddy job, I've heard. But I share this with you. It is a life skill. It is a really good skill to have in your back pocket to start to practice asking yourself what you want and then discovering ways to get it. Now, if that seems too broad and life coachy, how about how I want my kitchen to look? If it's cluttered now, how do I want my home to look declutter-wise? How do I want my bathroom to look? How do I want that shelf in my cupboard to look? How do I want it to function? How do I want to feel when I open the door and look at that one shelf? I share this with you because this is why I coined the term for myself, a decluttering life coach. I started with clutter coach, and then my friend says, sounds like you're going to help people clutter. And I was like, oh no, it's the after. But you see, I like things that say clutter coach, destination, decluttered, surface stored, sentimental. So I said, oh no, I am a decluttering coach. I help people declutter, but it's not just about the clutter. It's about the life skills, the things that you are keeping you stuck. When you're struggling and you're like, I don't know what to do with this thing, and you're literally, should I stay or should I go now? Now that to me is a life skill. It surpasses clutter, but clutter is a wonderful place to start to learn this, okay? You know? Yeah, that one persona. Love your thought of how much it is worth for you to get it out. Often leads to trip to goodwill. Yeah, awesome. Do that. And here, I will share this with you, and I want to make sure, because this has happened occasionally. I do not donate shame. No, I do not trash shame. I trust you to make the best decision for you. I don't want anybody coming here and telling somebody, don't give it to the Goodwill. That guy makes a wicked lot of money. You know what? There's a lot of people who make a wicked lot of money here, okay? Let's get the stuff out of your life so you feel better. All right? Just wanted to set the rules because, as I say, like, this is my house. These are my rules, okay? Okay, so Francesca says, I've been carrying around my stuffed animal monkeys in my car for so long, it's hard for me to part with them. Okay? Yeah, it can be. First of all, you don't have to part with them at all. Again, I also don't, clutter shame about what you keep and what you release. It's totally up to you. What I get curious of, and where I would lean in, as they say, is if you want to get rid of them and you're struggling to, because that is a tension. That's not flowing easily. I want to get rid of it. I get rid of it. I want to keep it. I keep it. When you want to get rid of it and you're not, there's tension. There's tension. There's stress. There's stress there because things are being pulled in both directions. That, my dear, is where coaching might be able to help you. Because what you'll uncover is probably that there's a thought in your head that makes you feel a feeling to do a thing. Okay? And that's what coaching walks you through at a pace that feels right to you. Now, I love this. Cat Mama says, no more magazine subscriptions. Me too. No, I used to enjoy getting magazines. Now, even if I get them, like I belong to, National Trust for Historic Preservation. They send a magazine quarterly. I literally read through it, read the articles. I used to save the articles because that's how we used to get information. Now, I literally read the articles. If I see a place I want to go, I put it on a pin on my electronic Google map, No, I love this. Cap is saying, there's a for-profit green drop closer to my route home, easier than the thrift store. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with making it easy. Why make it hard on yourself if you can make it easy? Do not shame yourself, I will say sometimes there are things that I do take time sometimes to get my things in better places. But I do that because I want to, not because I'm guilted into it, and I enjoy the feeling of connecting those things up. Other times, I've got a, kitchen garbage bag full of clothes that my husband doesn't want, and they're kind of our everyday clothes. Boom, they go to the Goodwill because I can drive, put it in their bin, and then just drive off. I don't need a lot of going in, taking that, getting, all that stuff. Yeah, and you just, yeah, I just have to decide. And Francesca, check in with your gut when you are deciding. And I want all of you to be deciding about what you're giving away or what you're keeping with love in your heart for yourself in your life. Because what I don't want you to do, it will happen, but I want to decrease the frequency with this is happening. I don't want you to regret. I don't want you to feel bad about something that you didn't think through when I was donating. But I want you to love yourself enough, and you want to love the life you want and the decluttered home you want enough to let go of things that are just cluttering up your life. Okay? Yeah, not all thrifts and drops are the same, but pick the one that is easy for you. Okay? I love this. Cap said, this weekend I used Instagram stories to find friends who wanted my stuff. I did that last year too, actually. I had a bunch of stuff because I used to write about retro road trips a lot. So I had all sorts of diners and, stuff of, books about road trips and things like that. I just didn't want in my collection anymore. So I reached out to the group of people that I was like, hey, I think you guys might be interested in this. It was fun to me to do that. I didn't mind doing it. Other times I just want it done. It will always keep it interesting, keep it different. There doesn't have to be a set it and forget it strict formula. Do what feels good to you, but also keep in mind the time and effort it takes for you to do that. Is you connecting those things up with somebody else, the time and effort? Is you ain't my baby? Is you spending time rolling your pennies and putting them in the bank worth it? Or, bringing them to a numismatist and seeing, do any of these have any value past a penny? Now, Cindy Ellison is saying, what do you do with DVDs and VHS tape movies? I will say this. The kids these days, because I used to be one of these vintage collectors, in the 80s and in 90s, my husband and I didn't know my husband in the 80s, and most of the 90s. We met in 98. I used to collect records. I used to collect old versions of how to get music because there was pre-internet. Kids these days, I'm telling you, some people collect VHSs, some people collect DVDs. Get the word out to your friends. Put something on Facebook. Hey, I got a bunch of VHSs. Anybody want them? I have a friend who for years would make notebooks out of the covers. He would cut the covers off, do a little spiral bound thing. I have a bunch of his notebooks. Rich's really cool notebooks, See if somebody else wants them. If not, see where you can donate them. Some places don't accept them. That's where you might want to dump it at places that they don't give you the opportunity to say no. I'll be honest with you. Don't ask for, I'd rather ask for permission than forgiveness. Remember some guy I worked with who said that once. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you have a VCR, make sure it works, because Cindy, Cat Mama says, my VCR ruined some tapes, lots of music and concert videos. Yeah, you know what the crazy thing is, you guys? We used to have to buy those things because there was no internet. I remember, honestly, when the Monkees, two things. When the Monkees episodes from the 60s and when Pee-wee's Playhouse came out on VHS tapes, I purchased those from Suncoast Video because I loved those shows so much I wanted to watch them again. We tend to forget that we live really on an in the most amazing time on the planet, that anything we want is really like a click away. And sometimes we forget that. But now, because we can watch things differently, we do things differently. I never buy DVDs anymore. I barely did to begin with. I have a handful of DVDs of movies that I would like to watch again or share with people. And I did. My That Thing You Do DVD right now is at somebody's house, because I think he's younger than me, but he wants to show it to his kids. So ask people around you, does anybody want these? You know? There we go. Danielle says, I used to tape all my boy bands off the TV and I still have them. Isn't that fun? Okay. I used to, because I'm an older generation than you, when they showed the Monkees reruns on Channel 56 in Boston, when I was growing up in the 70s, it was the reruns, and my cousins and I, they had a little cassette tape player with a little external microphone. Be back to pick you up later. And we would literally hold the microphone up to the TV so that we could have the music, because there was no way of listening to the music otherwise. So we do things to collect the things we want. You know, Cat's Coffee and Cocktails says my NKOTB stuff has one box and I still love them. Awesome. I was thinking about, are they the ones, Cats, you might know this, are they the ones that did Step by Step? I'm not a boy band. I don't have anything against them. I just don't have my knowledge. Did they do Step by Step, or was that another one of the boy bands? Because I was thinking about that recently, because I want to do like okay, they did. See? NKOTB. I think my mother went to BC with one of their aunts or something. But I think of that with that is a great song to think of when you are of a certain age and you want to go do some decluttering. Declutter step by step, you know? Yeah. I love it. Yeah, everything is so ephemeral now. Gen Xers are essentially analog people in a digital world. Strong Silver Solstice, we are analog in a digital world, are analog in a digital world. See what I did there? I'm so Gen X. I like meta Gen X'd a pop culture reference, okay? I was also a huge Police fan for quite a while, so I cracked myself up. Thank you, everybody. I'll be here for another 8 minutes, but you know what I mean. Table 17, your pizza's ready. Anyhow, I'm getting all silly here, which is nothing wrong with being silly. Having fun and getting it done. Notice how it can be. If you are keeping yourself entertained while you're decluttering, it feels less stressful. You know, here we are, we're in a community here, we're cracking jokes, we're sharing the fact that some of us are of a generation and other people are younger, but we're bonding over the boy bands of an era, you know. We're swapping ideas. Cat Just Me says, our church collects new items folks donate. And then they do something with them at Christmas, okay? But there we go. I have very few things, but my NKOTB stuff is the number one. Awesome. And here's the thing I love when the stuff you have represents you and you own it. When you're like, yeah, this still means a lot to me. I'm going to keep it. You know? Yeah. Cat Roby is here for the Gen X and music references all day. Honey, I got you covered, okay? That's my life. I remember saying to somebody years ago, if it was like Charlie Brown Christmas and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the Monkees and didn't exist, I would be quiet a lot of the time. Because you'll hear me often say, that's what it's all about, Charlie Brown, you know? And it's true. You know what it's all about, Charlie Brown? It's about, and this is another funny thing, this is a song, this is a deep cut, but I'll share it with you because some of you might Google it. There was a movie called Walk Hard a number of years ago. It was the Dewey Cox story. I found it wicked funny. I guess some people didn't. It was in the theaters for like a hot minute. We initially became aware of it because of some songwriters that were on the soundtrack that we liked. And there's a song called It's a Beautiful Life, or It's a Wonderful Ride. It's a Beautiful Ride. Mike Viola, he was the voice of the guy in That Thing You Do. But I digress. This is what it's all about, Charlie Brown. It's about a wonderful ride. It's about family and friends. It's about doing the things that are important to you, making the time and the space in your home, in your schedule, in your life, for the stuff that really means a lot to you. It's not all this stuff you see on TikTok or whatever, in Target or at the mall or the influencers. It can be, like you might be like, yeah, I want that caftan. I might be wearing a caftan tonight when my friend DJs at a 70s thing. okay? But this is what it's all about. This is why I show up. I have no interest in showing you how to organize. I can do that in a hot minute. It would be boring after a while. I love to show up in your life as a lovely wake-up call to say, hey, life is short, and so am I. Life is short. Get it done and have some fun. Stop dragging around the stuff. Stop dragging my heart around. Stop dragging around the stuff that's dragging you down. Let go of that stuff. That suitcase full of bowling balls that you're dragging through the life. Let go of it and walk through life better. Feel better. Yeah. Go throw toast. Go squirt guns and paper, and toilet paper. Yeah. And Cat Mama, yeah, Charlie Brown and Rudolph make me cry. You know what? They make us feel feels. It's good to feel the feelings. Yeah, and SC Native, check this out. There's a Mrs. Roper caftan thing going on in my town this weekend. And I cannot be there. I'm such a good friend. I'm doing something else. But you know what? My husband reminded me last night that our friend is spinning at a local brew pub, and it's disco night. And somebody said last night, they're like, you could wear your caftan. And I was like, oh, you're right. I can. I can. Okay. So, yeah. Can't part with them. You know what? My mom didn't wear them. I think they're great. I'm going to wear one tonight. There you go. Put your hands on your hips and squeeze your knees in tight. Let's do the time warp again, shall we? It's like the lounge version, right? There we go. We can do a Mrs. Roper caftan cleanup on our video. There we go. I love that idea. The caftan cleanup. The caftan decluttering. Very fun. Now, what she might be talking about is, so the people on the mailing list, we typically have always done like a free monthly Zoom, and it's typically happened at night and once a month on Zoom, and we get together and we chat and we exchange, struggles, stories, all that kind of stuff. What I've decided is for October, if this is of interest to you, you might want to jump on my mailing list, is in October, the monthly Zoom is not going to be like that. It's going to be different because I like to keep things different. I like to play with things. And what we're going to do is something I experimented with, I think a few months ago, which is having kind of a declutter party. What do I mean by that is we all hop on Zoom, certain day, certain time. We all get on Zoom, you get the Zoom link, and then we say, okay, for the next 20 minutes, we're all going to declutter, and you declutter whatever you want to. And then we're going to check in after 20 minutes. How'd it go? Any help? How'd it feel good? Okay. Back in for another 20. Okay, good. All right, then we're going to wrap it up, and then another 20 to wrap it up. It may be longer than that. I don't know. I have to figure that out for myself. If that sounds like fun to you, to have like just a reason to show up and face something that you've been avoiding, knowing that you're in company, that people that also want to do it, get on my mailing list, destinationdeclutter.com/join. Okay. SC Native says, if you haven't joined, you should. It's a helpful and great community. It's a cool group of people. And it's always different people. Sometimes it's the same people. Sometimes it's different, but it's always wicked fun. Yeah, those Rankin Bass cartoons. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Cat Roby had a disco award party last disco ball sparkle dress. Love it. Love it. Yeah. Everything is going back to the things we had before, clothes, movies, etc. Yeah. But you know what? That's always been the way. It's always been the way. Like, I am an art historian, and by training, I guess, because I went to school for it. But historically, people have always looked back for inspiration and look forward, too. If you like that, yeah, Rach, if you like that idea, totally sign up. DestinationDeclutter.com/join. Now, speaking of the website, that's also where you would learn about my coaching. I have a coaching client in like a minute, so I'm going to sign off for right now, okay? But what I will share with you is when you sign up for the mailing list, too, is you'll also know the next time I show up for a TikTok Live. There's a schedule there, and people who haven't checked it recently, I just added a bunch of dates, okay? So you want to check that. So if you want to tune in the next time I do a TikTok Live and you want to make time for that, sign up for my mailing list. You get access to where I put the schedule, and you'll know when I show up, okay? All right, do it step by step. And let's do the time warp again. Yes, Midnight in Paris. That was an awesome one. All right, love you, Laura Gibbons Voorhees. Ooh, that's what I look like today. Yes, it is. Okay, I'll see you guys when I see you. Have an awesome day.